This episode is brought to you by Quince. Stick to staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/ATM for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's quince.com/ATM. Get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ATM. Hello, everyone. Hi, this is Jim Jefferies. I'm here with Amos Gill. Welcome to the At This Moment podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about Barbie having diabetes. We're going to talk about presidents' wives having cocks. We're going to talk about Amos Gill having, problems. What else have we got?
Well, we're also talking about the new rule in airports that have made things a lot easier to travel around, but is it a security threat? And
we're also going to speak to Pastor Jacob from The Snake. That'll be at the end of the show. If you want to catch us on tour, go to jimjefferies.com. I am touring all over the UK, all over Europe. It's something like 60 cities. So if you live in Europe or the UK, check it out. I'm probably coming to a town near you. Tickets are going fast. I'm not bullshitting about that. They are actually going fast. So try to get your tickets now. Amos is going to be opening up for me across Europe, not across UK. In the UK, I'll be having Glenn Wall and Andrew Maxwell, but I think Amos will be with us for a few of them. And he might even get up on stage and give
can you just settle this for us now? Because otherwise I'll have to text you. Am I doing Belfast? Is that Europe? Is that UK? It's technically UK, but it's kind of Europe. What are we doing? I actually need to text someone about that right now.
Are we doing regular Ireland before that?
No.
Whoever's doing regular Ireland and gets Belfast, that would probably be the way I would go.
I think that's me, because that's the Euro. Okay.
All right, well,
okay. Or Maxwell, I don't know.
Let's start the podcast.
No, let me pitch something quickly. Come to see me in Montreal and Edinburgh, but also I had so many people in Chicago this week who listened to our podcast, UK. That's the first time that's ever happened.
Okay,
so thank you. Some people actually seem to enjoy this.
Oh, good.
I was as shocked as the next man.
Good. It's good to have someone listening who's not your mum who doesn't listen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to At This Moment with Jim Jefferies and Amos Gill.
Very good. That was wonderful. That worked out really good. You're still in your is that your father-in-law's office?
It is. In fact, I said I need somewhere to do the podcast today, and he sent his youngest child in to check the desk if I was giving away any.
There's a few
secrets
pictures
about the company.
There's a few pictures of family in the background, but what I like is the box of stuff like someone has left a cubicle job and they've just come home to your other side.
Where's that? Oh yeah, I don't know what that's. An electronic drum set.
Oh, that's good. When
you come in here, do a bit of reggae after you've done some steel work.
My son's going to see Oasis with me, and he's been watching a lot of Oasis clips, and he's asked to play the guitar, and so Jack's taught him a few chords, and I said, Hank, if you can do 4 chords and you can do them seamlessly, move between them really seamlessly, I'll buy you an electric guitar. What an incentive that is! I don't remember my dad saying he'd buy me anything. My dad would go, if you do this really hard, I'll let you work at McDonald's. Like,
you know what's really nice about being here on this desk is I got him a present last year, and it's actually on the desk.
Oh, what is it? What's the present?
I'll show you. I got his face and put it on Mount Rushmore with the presidents.
Really? Where did you? Okay, there he is in the middle there. Who makes those? Where did you find someone who makes those?
It's called Art Mellows.
Okay.
So we were making fun of him, saying that he thinks he's like a president, and we're like,
but if you don't listen to the podcast regularly, Amos's father-in-law, soon to be father-in-law, is a German. Shouldn't he be on the Mount Rushmore of Germans, not Americans? Okay, who gets on the Mount Rushmore of Germans?
We got
Michael Ballack. Right,
Michael Ballack.
Yeah,
I mean, say what you will about Hitler, but he did more than Michael Ballack.
No, I haven't in my sports card collection. I haven't got a Hitler. You know what I mean? I have got a Ballack. Anyway, so who else you got?
And even Ballack, you wouldn't go. You go Bastian Schweinsteiger or Franz Beckenbauer before you do that. Geez, that's disrespectful. We're gonna go. Do we go with the Kaiser?
Which Kaiser? The roll or the guy?
The Kaiser roll gets up there with the bratwurst.
The bratwurst, the Kaiser roll. Michael Ballack, Hitler, and your father-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, there's what's his name as well? Otto von Bismarck. Bismarck gets a go.
Yeah, he gets a go.
But there's obviously one guy that was chiseled off.
How about the Red Baron? The Red Baron.
Yeah, it's hard, but you'd have to put him on with a plane.
Just a woman with an infected vagina.
What about Australia? If Australia had one, it would be on Ayers Rock, but that'd be
Oh, yeah, but you couldn't climb it. You couldn't climb it because the Aboriginals believe it's a church or something, although I haven't seen one of them prayer at the front of it. And as I've always said, you can step on Westminster Abbey all you want. I'm not going to get offended.
What if we said to the Indigenous people of Australia, you can do Mount Rushmore on Uluru, but like Indigenous people only?
Right, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Kathy Freeman gets up there or something like that.
You do like Kathy Freeman, Adam Goods.
Paddy Mills, Lionel Rose.
It can't just be athlete because Eddie Betts, Andrew McLeod. It is a lot of athletes. But
Ernie Dingo could get up there. Ernie Dingo gets a go. They're all up there. You could do a good Mount Rushmore.
I think it's one of America's best things is the Mount Rushmore.
I like that there's some weird statistic. It's like it's not super high, but it's like 3 or 4% of Americans think it's from natural erosion. Yes, read it. It's like a thing where they think
it rained and then it eroded out the
thing about Mount Rushmore is when you see those videos of it being built, right? And it's just like they put a dynamite stick in some hole and then boom, and then it's like, oh, Lincoln has a nose now. It's pretty amazing how they did it.
I know, like we would never do anything like that ever again, would we?
And I know the American Indians don't like it because it's one of the Dakotas, right? One of the Dakotas, yeah, it's in one of the Dakotas, and they don't like it because it's meant to be, same thing as rocks and Aboriginals.
It is astonishing to me that Trump hasn't tried to put himself on there.
Well, you got to wait till you're done. I would have him.
He would never want to wait till he's done.
Just holding his ear, just like that, at the end.
You know what I think I would like? I would like the Epstein list to be...
At the other end, I'll just have Biden asleep. Everyone else is in their heyday. And then Biden just going, who are these other guys? Who are they?
I want them to transcribe the Epstein client list with chiseled in.
There's no mountain big enough.
You'd need Everest. The Everest of pedophiles.
Yeah, at the top of Everest, you just see Trump at the very little peak, a little tiny print.
He's like, I did disclose it. We chisel it in Everest.
When he goes, I don't know why we're worrying about it. We talked about this in the last podcast. I can't keep going on. So what topics have we got for us today?
Well, I thought I'd start off by pointing out what day it is today. It's July 14th. So bonjour to our French fans. We are coming to Paris. It's Bastille Day today.
Do you know when we come to Paris to do the shows coming up, if you're in gay Paris, this will be my first time performing in France. Everywhere else across Europe, I was told, because the promoters in France, because, there's always been that thing with comedy in France that they like Jerry Lewis and they like silly things. And that's always been the stereotype.
They still love clowning, yeah.
They like clowning and mimes and all that type of stuff, right? And so they go, oh, your comedy would never work in Paris. People do not like the filth that is coming out of your mouth. That type of thing, right? We put the tickets on sale. The Paris show is selling like hotcakes. The young Parisians have been wanting this type of stuff for a while, and all they've been given is stripy shirt fucking mimes.
Yeah, dude, there was the big mime has been holding comedians back for a long time.
I've told you, all I used to do Just for Laughs. When you do Just for Laughs, there'd always be the French week, and I watched
Just for Rire.
Yeah, and the French comedian, I did not need to know what they were saying to know it is le shit. They're always like this, hey, walkie, hey, and everyone's laughing like this, and he's doing this bit, right? And you go, I know whatever he's saying is shit. I know whatever he's saying. Like, airplane, hey, the black box. Why do they not make the whole plane out of black box? Whoa! Like that.
I've not been as entertained by you as I have been right now in a long time, seeing you do that.
No, nor has anyone. That's my closing spot for the new tour.
Would it kill you to be a little bit more engaging like you've been now? This is good stuff.
If you like that, come and check out the tour because there's going to be more of that. I'll be doing that in Germany, and in France I'll be doing Guten Tag material. I'm going to swap it all around, and then in Croatia I'm just going to make you sit on a chair next to me like Madge Allsop for Barry Humphries' Dame Edna Everage. You know, his bridesmaid used to sit on a chair just so I can ingratiate myself with other round-headed people from your country.
You're gonna keep me there as an Uncle Slav.
Yeah.
As he mock our people.
Yeah.
He's enjoying it. Look.
Yeah.
So it's Bastille Day.
It's been great to see you all.
Bastille Day is. I thought we'd go with a little bit of French flair for the day. There's a few French stories I want to get to. Number one.
They gave up the cigarettes. Can't smoke outdoors anymore in France.
We discussed that last time. Yeah. That's very, very sad.
The biggest problem with that is more French people living longer.
True that.
Yeah. More French people living.
More bitter. If you think they're in a bad mood before.
And like you don't know the language. Zinedine Zidane used to smoke and then go out the pitch and headbutt people. Those were the days. That's when France was at its best. Anyway, carry on.
So I thought I'd ask you, you know what Bastille Day is all about. Obviously, this is in the French Revolution. They storm the Bastille where the political prisoners are kept. There's only 7 in there. Not long after, Marie Antoinette. And I've always found this interesting. Marie Antoinette, famous phrase.
Let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake. Which was to say, the poor people are starving. They kept saying they've got no bread. The price of bread's out of control, which is kind of mirrors our time, price of food. And she says, let them eat cake. In
America, that would just be bread.
Well, this is what I find fascinating is in the end, Marie Antoinette was correct because the economy we have today is that poor people are fed cake at a far cheaper rate than bread. So if she'd lived long enough, she actually did envision big food in a massive populace and the way that calories would be distributed. Yeah. If you think about it, like when people say it's a cost of living crisis, of course it is, but it's a cost of living well crisis. Because if you go to a supermarket anywhere in America, you can get a mud cake with enough calories for a week for like $4.
And you can live off that.
And they killed that bitch for saying that.
Yeah, are they? Yeah. And after
she was
she taught us about radiation, to do that to her was unbelievable. Let them eat cake. I used to think about that as a kid when they go, and then she said, let them eat cake. And as a kid, you're like, geez, that's all right. I'm not even allowed to eat cake. I never get cake. In America, let them eat donuts.
But the bread is legally cake here as well, as you were saying.
Yeah, it's filled with sugar.
Remember that with Subway?
Americans can't with the bread, they don't know what they're doing because they can make good bread. They have it within them to do it. Australian bread's the best bread by none. I'm thinking of moving to Australia just for the bread. But with the American bread, they seem to add sugar to it or something because they can make good bread because they make good bagels and they make good pizza bases.
Yeah, but they want things to last a long time. That's their problem.
I don't need things to last a long time.
Shit.
I don't need a lot of things to last a long time. Just fucking give it to. I love when you get a loaf of bread and it's got mold on it. That's a good sign for me. I remember when I bought my first some bread and milk from America, and then I went on like a 3-day, 4-day weekends worth of gigs, and I came back and my bread and my milk was still all right, and I was like, "There's something wrong with this."
That's why I always find it funny when Americans are like, "Ugh, what about those weirdos who are prepping, those preppers?" And it's like your whole pantry is for prepping. Like even your standard food is prepping. It should go off like immediately. But then again, if you go to the European way, like my Croatian granddad walks to the market every day to buy bread, and that seems like too much. You know, like to get it fresh every day.
What do you? My mother on the way home from school every day we stopped for milk and bread every day. Family of 5, 1 loaf of bread, 2 liters of milk every day.
That doesn't vibe with how lazy everyone is today.
I'm so old. We had a milkman. We had a bloke. Right. I've always thought that was weird. That there was one bit of produce that was delivered individually. Then, like you, by that rationale, you should have an egg man.
No, apparently there was a meat man back in the day. And this is not a porno joke. I think there was a man I think it was in the UK. Let me look this up. There was like a van that would go around, meat van man.
No, you're thinking of Tom Stade's routine about the meat truck. That's a different thing.
I am thinking about Tom Stade's meat truck routine. Is that not real?
No, that's not real. That's a guy selling meat at the markets. That's not a guy who delivers meat door to door.
This is the problem. I remember things that are...
That's just shonky British people driving up on the side of the road and trying to sell things. When I was in Britain, I was once this happened like several times, actually. This is one of the things, right? You drive up, a white van stops next to you, the door goes next to you, you're walking along the street, you think you're about to be pulled in and kidnapped, and then a bloke's like, "Do you want some speakers?" Like this, right? I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I've got boxes of speakers here. You want speakers?" "No, I don't like speakers." With the door and off the fucking van goes, right?
I will say that the ice cream truck also was, they played the music, they brought cheer to the neighborhood. No other cuisine, we've gone into the era of the food truck. but no one has ever really brought it the way the ice cream did.
Okay, the ice.
Where's the music?
The Mr. Whippy was a real thing that you needed to do because you can't have soft serve at home. It can only be delivered by truck. You can't buy it at the supermarket. It has to be in the machine. It has to be ready to go. McDonald's slightly fucked over Mr. Whippy a little bit. But what is the theme song of the Mr. Whippy truck going across Australia? What's the song that we get?
I don't know. What is it?
Green Sleeves. Ding, 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 ding. Now, my 3-year-old nephew, if you play that song on your phone anywhere in the house, my Australian 3-year-old nephew, he's like, ice cream, like a Pavlovian dog. If he hears Green Sleeves, they don't do that. They don't do that around America. We don't hear the truck going by. Sometimes you'll see like one of those trucks go by, the ice cream trucks that with all the Mexican ice creams on it. That looks like that.
The ices.
It does look like there's someone being trafficked in that one. That truck is a creepy ass looking truck that goes by.
No windows in that ice cream truck.
Yeah, it's a thing of horrors.
There's ice in there, but that's because there's organs being kept in the back.
Yeah, the ice cream is to distract the ice from coming to get them.
No, that would be a good way. That's Donald Trump. That's the sneakiest way of getting rid of his Mexicans is he has an ice van and then he goes cream and then the Mexicans run out to get a frozen dessert. And at the last second, they're caught with a net.
Now, me and you know a couple of Australians who have overstayed their visas, do we not? We probably do, right? Probably, yeah. Not they tell us, but we know a few British comics and stuff like that. We know a few that probably overstayed there. I just want to see one of those cunts getting tackled. If that happens, then I'm all for the ice raids. If I just see one Swedish backpacker being dragged along by her big blonde plaits through the street, just going
alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, going alligator Alcatraz.
This big-titted blonde, she was a real threat. There's a lot of whores here in America, and she was going to set up an OnlyFans, and we can't do that to the girls in Miami.
She was taking the work.
She was sucking the dicks in Manhattan, and frankly, there's American mouths that can take the jizz. We got to protect American gold diggers.
All right. So, but still my beating heart. What did you have to speak about, France? What's going?
Well, I was going to talk about one of these very conspiracy adjacent topics,
right?
Which is, for whatever reason, there's an obsession.
This is you're about to go full QAnon, aren't you? You've just when you start saying this is a conspiracy theory adjacent, and you start doing. I met a bloke recently that was going on. I was in a car. Just before you start, I was in a car, and the guy's like this. He goes, "Do you like baseball? I've been in this country for a while. You like baseball?" And then he goes, "There's something you need to see." And then he showed the diamond, and then he flipped the diamond upside down, and he goes, "It's the same symbol as the Masons. You know how the Masons have that thing like that?" And it goes like this. He goes, "It was designed by the Masons." I'm like, even if it was designed by the Masons, who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a fuck? And he goes, "I don't know. I got a friend. He's into crazy things, but this one seems to be true." He's always got a friend who. That's what all conspiracy theorists need: is one friend who's crazier to make you feel good about yourself, and that's why we do this podcast together. So what have you got?
You've always had that. You've always had one friend. It's like you've had Steve Hughes before, and now I've come along as your millennial conspiracy friend.
Steve Hughes was my conspiracy theorist that I lived with. Yeah. And now I've got you, the younger one. I'm well rounded, but I'm well versed in your kind.
I actually got sent a series of videos the other day about Disney imagery and how it's all about hunting children in Disney, and I couldn't go down that path. I was trying to write comedy.
I've heard this about there's tunnels underneath Disneyland that they're taking the kids to Mexico and they're shipping them off. I've heard all this rubbish, right?
That being said, if they don't start releasing the client list of Epstein, this only fuels these things. Let's be real.
I'm just saying they're not shipping kids from America to Mexico. They have their own kids. They don't need American product to go down there to sex traffic. They've got their own ones. They're doing fine.
From farm worker to table.
Yeah.
So this story I want to discuss is this bizarre...
Jack shook his head so disappointed in us both.
From one of the weird corners of the internet is that world leaders' wives have cocks.
Right. Yeah, okay. Oh, yes, I know about this. Okay, so let's go through Michelle Obama. Everyone said
Big Mike.
Yeah, she has a penis. And then people will go, you've seen the bulge, haven't you? You've seen the bulge. I've also seen two daughters that look exactly like her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to even say I don't think Michelle Obama has a dick. I'm going to say Michelle Obama was a woman. She's still a woman, and congratulations to her for that. Good work.
Good. You throw your red meat out there to your woke base. Fine, Jim. But I'll push on.
I'm a left-wing shill.
I'm not going down the path.
I don't reckon there was anything in the deleted emails about it either. Okay, carry on.
I'm not going down the path of Michelle, but one that has crept on the internet over the last couple of years is about Brigitte Macron.
Oh, yes.
This is Emmanuelle Macron's wife. Now,
wasn't she his teacher or something?
Yeah, before we even get into the is she a dude topic that's dominating the court cases of France right now, she's a 40-year-old school teacher when he is 14 when they begin their relationship. So already...
Well, that's not beginning a sexual relationship when they met each other. No,
I believe the grooming began at that point.
Okay, but you also have to understand that it's France and they're completely different. They're watching mimes, Amos. They watch mimes.
Yeah, she was introduced to him by Roman Polanski.
Because if they say anything, they might incriminate themselves.
Yeah, they start the process of teaching kids to not talk very young.
Yeah. The police are like this. I need to speak to you, but I'm in a box.
Every time the French elites rape a kid, they put him in a stripy shirt and go, now you know the rules.
Yeah. They're like, they're not in stripy shirts. They're just escaped prisoners. Scaling walls.
That is why Polanski chose France. He's like, yeah, they don't talk over there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the French.
Can I give you a quick sidebar conspiracy on top of another conspiracy? A double.
Okay, double conspiracy.
So someone was talking
about... A double entendre?
Someone was talking about Roman Polanski,
yes.
And they were saying that he was the Jeffrey Epstein of the 70s and 80s, and that at his Hollywood parties, he was notoriously doing bad things. We remember at
Jack Nicholson's spa bath.
Jack Nicholson's spa bath, and that they had a lot of parties. And then there's all this talk about Charles Manson and the family death squad that he had as being wiped by MK Ultra and being a paramilitary unit of the CIA at the time, getting their brain fucked up on the experiments in California.
Sure.
And that he came to kill Sharon Tate and the Polanskis in the same way they killed Jeffrey Epstein. It was one end closing off another end. And there's an interesting way of re-looking at that story now.
And Charles Manson could have brought this up at any given stage while he's been locked up in prison with a swastika in between his eyebrows.
Yeah, his brain got cooked with MK Ultra.
Or any of the women who were in the family could have brought it up at any stage to defend themselves. Or they said to start helter-skelter and to start a race, right? They made the murders. They've been on record. They've said it 1,000 times. Wouldn't it be good for them to go, we were doing it to stop pedophiles? Wouldn't that be a better defense?
They don't know. They're just tools of the CIA. That's why they got MK.
Even if they didn't know, it feels like a good thing to make up on the spot. It feels like a good thing. Like now that they've listened to this podcast, one of them should be ringing the cops up right now. I've got a new story for you.
It was a while ago.
They still get in trouble for it.
I've been watching. Do you ever go and watch videos of
Manson's still alive, right? Or did he just die? He's still alive. He's still alive.
Is he still alive? I watch those videos where he's like, I roll the nickels. I run the dimes. He's dead.
There you go. You cut out then. You cut out. Just do it again. I roll the dickels, I roll the dimes. No.
He did in 2017. 2017.
2017?
Dead.
Oh, 2017. Okay.
But anyway, look,
he didn't get to see COVID.
So this is what happened. I already started one conspiracy and now I'm down another dumber rabbit hole. So I've got to stay back on what's actually in the news right now.
Yeah.
So some journalists had reached out and have always thought the relationship between those two was quite bizarre. Yeah. And that Brigitte Trognon, as it was her name before she married Macron, had groomed him. The relationship was not right. And they started to postulate that Brigitte Macron was actually born a man, Jean-Michel Trognon, and had transitioned. And what they were saying, these French
They did a good job. They did a good job. It looks convincing. Well done to the French.
You think so?
I think so. From male to female, she looks like a female to me. Don't you think she looks like a female?
Well, I guess she's just
She's old. She's old. None of them end up good. Like you can't, So I'll just cover my ass there. Men don't look great either. Carry on.
And remember, the slap had happened a couple of weeks ago. That big, forceful slap that hit Macron's face. These journalists had said that she was born a man, Jean-Michel, and then got rid of the name, got rid of the identity of Jean-Michel Trogneux, which was the First Lady's brother, was the true identity, and this fact has been hidden through a complex conspiracy. The two women allege that Jean-Michel transitioned into Brigitte through a series of surgeries before marrying the future French president, who is 25 years younger than his 72-year-old wife. The Elysee Palace filed a libel complaint, and a lower court ruled in September of last year that the defendants owed Brigitte $8,000 in damages and $5,000 to her brother.
Look, let's be honest. If a woman's 25 years older than you, and you have to have sex with her, who gives a fuck if she has a dick or not at that stage? 25 years is 25 years.
Well, the vagina's much younger, you see.
Oh,
So
it's
he's-
always a
you
new.
see?
It was a new vagina.
If
All
it's a
right.
surgery.
Did it have that new vagina smell? Did it? Like
So-
it was
so
ready
if-
to go.
So if that's the case, everyone says, Emmanuelle, you're fucking this 72-year-old woman. He's
Jack's
like,
looking at pictures of her right now just to make sure.
so technically the vagina's
Jack,
actually
put your
in its
cock away.
20s.
Put your cock away. Jack's masturbating in front of me. Stop it, Jack. Stop it. Okay, give me a look. I'll tell you whether it used to be a woman. Okay. Look.
I haven't even got to the news bit yet. Let me
Yeah,
let me continue, and you can give your opinions at the
Okay,
end.
so you're saying.
Let me finish, and then you can give your take at the end here. So she's seeking libel and defamation from
She
these
looks all right
journalists.
for her age, to be honest.
A Paris court overturned that ruling on Thursday, finding that the video that was made by the journalist who is being sued and its contents were covered by free speech laws regardless of the substance of their claims, and that they were good faith claims. Now the case is set for final decision after the First Lady announced on Sunday her intention to bring it into the big court of cassation. He noted that her brother would similarly petition the court. Speculation and conjecture about various cover-ups surrounding the Macrons have gained viral traction on social media over the past 7 years, not only in France, but particularly in America, where Candace Owens reveled in the spectacle caused by her Becoming Brigitte video series, which makes a series of familiar claims that the French First Lady was born as a man. And a big thing that they keep saying is, show us a photo of you as a girl. And then her thing back is, it's demeaning and beneath me to have to prove to you that I am a woman. I'm not going to do it. And now they're saying, as we go to the top courts in France, just send us a fucking picture.
Just to stop you there. She shouldn't have to do that. I don't want to be the most woke person. She should, if she is a woman, which I think she is, she shouldn't have to do that. In the same way that Donald Trump shouldn't have to give, Obama shouldn't have to give his birth certificate because some bully is saying, "Oh, well, why won't you do that then?" Because it's none of your fucking business.
I mean, you just give the birth certificate, though. I mean, he did it. He gave the birth certificate.
I know, but you shouldn't be bullied into things like that.
Yeah, but you're not. You're the president of France, the First Lady. You've brought defamation. What? Because to be honest, if they just ignored it as you should have and go, these people are fucking insane. But as soon as they bring the defamation suit, that's when you go,
Okay,
why
so there's a little
are
bit-
you?
It's like, Liberace could never come out as gay because he sued a newspaper.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, like look, we've had our moments. We've had the Village people want to get angry at us for talking about homosexuality. I think Kevin Spacey also had some legal thing against the person he was just walking a dog or some shit.
I'm always suspicious when someone who is worth that much money and is at the apex of Europe and power decides to seek $8,000 in damages and saying, you shouldn't be saying this about me with your piddly little documentary that no one really watched. It does seem like it adds fuel, doesn't it? To go, I'm going to take you to court.
Well, I think we'll find out in the end. Okay, so what is your belief? Is your belief that she is a he or he is a she?
I have absolutely no idea. I just, like I told you, these are the kind of tunnels I don't like to go in. But I do like that
One's where there weren't a tunnel before.
Where a new tunnel has been made by a surgeon.
I don't want any new tunnels. They haven't stood the test of time.
Because now there's all this stuff which I never know whether to
Don't know
believe.
if it's going to cave in or not.
This surgeon has jumped out of a window and committed suicide who was going to testify, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, it does seem to save everyone's time and money. There should be like a French judge. And knowing how perverted the French are, some French judge is like, I will fuck her and I will determine if she's a woman or a man.
I'm not into chasing trends, but I am all about stuff that fits right, feels good, and actually lasts. That's why I keep on coming back to Quince. Their lightweight layers and high-quality staples have become my everyday essentials. I love Quince. It's all very wearable stuff. Have you been wearing Quince?
I have been wearing Quince, and Quince keeps popping up. I just stayed at a friend's house in Austin, and I was in the guest room, and she told me, my friend's wife, that they buy all Quince because I was complimenting the bed sheets. And then next thing I find out, we're working with Quince, and I got myself the American flag cable knit sweater.
Wore it last podcast. You look
Do you
very
know,
smart.
I love those sweaters. This is truth. I love those sweaters. I always wanted to wear one of those American flag sweaters, but some that I have gone to buy before were maybe like $500-$600, and I bought the Quince one, and it was like $90. And
Half the price. More,
half
the
than
price
half
of
the
similar
price.
brands.
Yeah, more than half the price. In fact, my girlfriend's brother was wearing a more expensive one, and I honestly couldn't tell the difference if not the Quince one was softer and better.
Do you want to know why Quince can do it? Because they work directly with top artisans and cutting out the middleman. Quince gives you luxury pieces without the big markups. Quince.
Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/ATM for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Maybe if my visa gets cancelled, I'll send back the American flag one, Jim, and I'll see if they've got anything from Australia. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/ATM to get free shipping, 365-day returns. Quince.com/ATM. Like right up at the apex of the French justice
obviously
system.
never had kids, right? Obviously never had kids.
Well, actually, let me look that up because I think.
If she met him when she was 40. Unless she had kids to a previous bloke, she was running, and he wasn't going to have a kid at 14. You know what I mean?
No, she has children. She has
children. Well, then checkmate, man. Checkmate. Did the kids?
Yes, but that's
like
what they keep asking, saying, "Show us pictures of you with the kids when when after you'd given birth in the hospital." Now, this isn't my conspiracy, but what is weird is that the court ruled in favor of the journalists in being able to make their claim, which I thought they.
Okay, so let's say the scenario. It comes back and it's she is a he, was a he, right?
Yeah.
She was a he. What then? Do they go? Thank you, at last. Right?
Well, that's why you go. If this is France, this is a country that would give the least fucks about it. You saw the opening ceremony at the Olympic Games, which was like drag queens and trans people.
Just drag queens and trans people dancing on boats in the rain.
Look, could you imagine one French person being like, "Oh no, I regret my vote for Macron because I don't support this sort of bizarre behavior. I have steadfast sexual morality." Who the fucking France cares? If it was America, if it was Russia, if like Vladimir Putin was actually born a woman.
All right, so that's a seamless thing into so Putin and Trump right now, they're not mates. They're not getting along anymore. Putin says Trump says that he's going to send 60,000 missiles to the Ukraine.
He's sending the Patriot missiles, which have been they're the ones they use in what do you call it? They use those in Israel at the moment, shooting down things. So he was not going to arm the Ukraine. I think a lot of people from that wing of politics wanted to see the end of that war. He did say, "I'll get it done on day one."
No, he said it'll take in a day. He didn't say which day. He didn't say which day. Give credit where credit's due. The day is coming up that he's about to get it done. Because we all know that this presidency has been nothing but success.
So in 5 years when this war's over, he'll be and it ends on a Friday. He'll go, "See?
Yeah, I told you
Friday.
That was the day. That was the day.
Well, obviously Putin's
January
not going to
7th, 2028.
Obviously Putin's not going to. I mean, there has to be some kind of win for his people that he has to tout.
Well, the Zelensky, was it Zelensky? Zelensky, he was so cunty to him when he visited the White House, and now he's helping him out. I think that's kind of sweet that they're getting along on some type of level. But Trump does everything on spite. So it's because Putin hasn't been listening to him, so now he's going to help out the Ukraine. Now, you, my friend, you always said that the greatest thing about Trump was that he was an anti-war president. How's it working out? How's it going?
Well, I see him at the moment with the Epstein files being the absolute metaphor for the administration, which is everything that his base wanted and were promised. All of a sudden, he has been absorbed into that deep state and it has failed dramatically, unless this move, I imagine, is you've got to negotiate by saying, well, one, it was tariffs. He's going to tariff them and then provide the weapons.
Yeah.
So he's trying to like get a stronger hand to negotiate from. But yeah, it's most of the plan has not gone.
This is a little sidetrack. We'll go
Like
back to the
turning
missiles.
like TP USA, the Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, the massive conservative movement of young people had their big function the other day, and it's really fireworks watching what would be the nativist paleo-conservative right wing fighting against the more traditional conservative wing. And you'd say once again, Donald Trump has become a very mainline Republican president. Carrying on the war.
You think people are going to be happy with this now? I personally think he should give missile to the Ukraine. I'm all for keeping that war going. Putin can go fuck himself. There shouldn't be a ceasefire. Let's go fight to the end on that one. And now Israel, Palestine, I have different opinions on. Israel, Iran, I have different opinions on. But the Ukraine, I'm all fucking Ukrained up, man. I'm all Ukrained up.
But they're out of, like,
I like those cunts.
They're out of people.
Yeah, but you don't need
They
people.
just get grinded to the, it's terribly sad. If it was a country like how do you start again? You've lost. They're basically getting 50-year-old men to go to the front now.
Yeah, but Russia
You're not going to win.
Russia thought they'd take them in 2 weeks, correct? They thought 2 weeks these people will fold and we'll be done. Maybe a little longer, but not much longer. Like, that's a real estimate, right? And now, what is it? Years.
It's not good, is it? You don't want a meat grinder of human flesh.
No, you don't want to meet people. You can't be pushed around. You got to stand. It's better to live on your feet than die on your knees. Better to die on your feet than live on your knees. That's the saying. That's from the Midnight Oil. It's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. And
said by a person who's never lived on their knees. I think in today's day and age, living on your knees not so bad. There's a lot of chairs that can get you around. There's a lot of creature comforts for he on the knee.
Oh, no. It's
when they came up with that phrase, the world was a harsher place.
The original saying was, it's better to be morbidly obese on a mobility scooter than to walk.
Like, whoever came up with it's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. So it was Emiliano Zapata, Mexican revolutionary leader.
It's pronounced Peter Garrett, Midnight Oil. It's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. Oh, the power and the passion. I've done singing. I've done French mime. Fuck, I'm active today. I'm so active today.
I put it to you that you, Jim Jefferies, would fucking live on your knees any day of the week.
Yeah, but I'm spineless. Don't use me as an example. Don't use me. I'm not a good example. I'm good with the words, not so good with the actions. You ever see me throw a ball?
When I hear that saying, I think of you wearing volleyball knee pads going, I'm ready.
with my tongue out. Just smash it into my mouth.
Let me live, Daddy. I'm down here on my knees. I'll lay on my belly for you if you want. I'll roll around like a naughty little pig. Just don't kill me.
All right, we've got one advertiser. Don't fuck it up.
Is it now? It's probably a good time to talk about our advertising. Quince. So we got a little lost there, but basically, stay tuned following this Brigitte Macron thing, because at first I just thought this was the sort of nut job lunacy.
All right. So what's your bet? I'm going to say never had a dick. What are you saying?
I think it's already crazy enough that you groomed a student, and I'm happy to leave it there.
I'm not going to say good person. I don't know.
I'm just saying I think that's already enough.
I don't know. There's enough that you could hang her on for being, having someone 25 years younger that she met when she was 14. There's enough hanging on that to actually do that. But I'm going to say never had a dick. Are you dick or vagina?
Well, here we are. Well, actually, I don't want to be sued.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't want to be sued? So that means you're used to have a dick, because you can't be sued for vagina.
Look at this. In the spirit of honesty, I'm leaning towards cock. Le coq.
Le coq. Le rooster. Like on the thing.
Brigitte Macron.
Okay.
How would I say that in French? I think She's a man in French. Here we go.
Well, Jack wants to know why we care, because we got to fill these podcasts with something.
Je pensais qu'elle est un homme.
Jack just asked us why we cared, because this is what podcasting is. You're going to hate The View. Don't ever watch The View. They talk about fucking nothing, Jack. They cover nothing, and they do it every day.
Like, why do we care if Michelle Obama was a man? Why do we care about that?
Well, we do care because if we believe someone's lying to us and they're in the public eye in some official political way, then they should be truth tellers on some level. But we're just peasants. I personally don't care, but other people, yeah.
We're just peasants screaming at the castle, and if you live in the castle, you have to expect that toothless peasants like me are going to be like this. She's got a cock, I reckon. There's a cock on a princess.
Yeah. That's from one of the lesser-known Monty Python movies. She's got a cock.
Like, every time I read this stuff, I realize I am just a mud-dwelling peasant who's throwing cabbage and shit at a princess's cart going, there's a cock in there. It's an aberration against God, it is.
Speaking about people and their conditions, there's a new Barbie that has just come out who's got diabetes. All right, have you seen Diabetic Barbie?
Well, I've always said I think it's wonderful that there's toys that more people can relate to, particularly in America.
Well, okay, first of all, I've always done this. You can make it really diabetic. How easy is it to pull a leg off a Barbie? Right?
Exactly. Regular Barbie can be.
That's for type 2 diabetes Barbie. That's next year's toy. This summer is just regular diabetes Barbie. But
foot is not included.
Yeah, and then season 3 will be mobility scooter, and she'll have some Disney ears on top of her head and a churro in the front of the stand.
For too long, there's been unrealistic standards, and everyone is getting their day. Now there's colostomy bag Barbie.
Well, here we go. She
loves it. She loves a bag.
I'll tell you, linking it back to the last story, trans Barbie, right? It's just Ken, and you slap a bit of tits on him, right? He's already got the smooth mound. It's a very easy transition for Ken. Ken's ready to go into Barbie.
Brigitte Barbie.
Yeah, Brigitte Barbie. It used to be Ken, and he's still
which organ.
He's still got that little ascot-y thing around his neck, and he's just got boobs now, and he's just like, I don't know, this is how Mattel made me.
I used to do a joke about this, which was because I remember they did Down syndrome Barbie.
All right, careful.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah.
And so the joke that I used to do was, it is funny that at the Barbie Corporation, as they got more woke, they were like, we need more diversity in the Barbie range. And they gave us a Down syndrome Barbie before they ever gave us a flat-chested Barbie. Because even in the Barbie universe, they're like, I don't care what she's got, she needs tits. Like,
I thought you were going somewhere. I thought I was going to have to tell you off there. That was okay.
Yeah.
You skirted the topic very well.
So the bit I used to do is I go, somewhere at the headquarters, they're like, any ideas? And this guy's like, how about flat-chested Barbie, A-cup Barbie, because a lot of girls don't have tits. This guy's like, get the fuck out of this office. Well, the other guy goes, Down syndrome, but double Ds? That's what we're talking about.
Well, they had Barbie in a wheelchair, and that Barbie, because of the prop, costs more than the regular Barbies. Isn't it enough that these kids are already in wheelchairs, and then they want to have a Barbie that reflects them, and then they have to spend extra money? This is where this country's gone to shit.
I'm sorry, that's just the harsh realities of the market. I'm sorry. I hate to be all Ayn Randian here, but it's more product, so more plastic.
Oh, what about a Bezos Barbie that goes into space?
Yeah, Katy Perry.
Yeah. But like like Bezos' wife, but I don't know how you could make Barbie's face look more still.
Well, you'd have to put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Left out on a hot day, Barbie. Oh, Lauren Sanchez. We're so mean to her.
We are. She seems like a nice enough woman, but she's got billions of dollars. That's
what other conditions is the Barbie franchise bringing out?
Well, I don't know if there's any other, could we have some of the ones that, bipolar Barbie, which is her with some pills and her makeup's a little bit thing, and she just has a speech bubble that just goes, you don't get it, something like that.
Yeah, self-harming Barbie.
Self-harming Barbie, little cuts in the arm, little cuts.
Little razor blade.
We've all met self-harming Barbie. She's a lot of fun most of the time. And then every now and again, she'll call you at 2 a.m, self-harming Barbie.
What about Where do the conditions stop being funny?
What? What? We were talking about self-harming people, and you're like, when do they stop being funny? I don't know. I have a light cold Barbie. It's just a box of Kleenex, and she's just
And she's in her sweats.
And you pull a cord, and she goes, "I don't think it's COVID."
But there's no like, well, if there's Down syndrome, surely you have to open it to like cerebral palsy. Yeah, every
How about
condition
how about,
should have
how
one.
about like mental health problems? Like Ken's just left me, so I fucked two of his friends' Barbie.
Well, that's what most girls probably play with anyway. That's more just a script.
All
for
right,
the
how
kids to
many
play.
Barbies do you think in their entirety have been shoved up someone and come out with like the something about Mary hair? Like, come on, there must have been Barbies used as dildos. Am I the only person who's ever thought of this? Jack's
Seemed
looking
like
very good.
seemed more of an admission of a strange fetish there, folks. That's the mind of Jim Jefferies.
I'll tell you.
Who's putting him up there, pussy? Yeah, I bet you that's happening, and the hair's all slicked back because it's a flipping, and because that's would have happened, right, guys?
Yeah. Whenever I say to my house, "You want to come over for a Barbie?" That's what I mean.
Honestly,
Yeah. And if you want to do the conspiracy theory, it's barbecue.
yeah. And when you turkey slap Barbie, you say, "I'm putting my shrimp on a Barbie."
Ah.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean to me and to turkeys and to Barbie. That was a trio of mean.
It was all three. I got you all there.
There'll be a
Okay,
clip,
so
there'll be a
you
clip
like-
in there somewhere. People will enjoy us being mean to Barbie, but you know what this does mean? That me and you can never be in the Barbie movies, the franchises. They would always
Oh,
pull
yeah, I was
this.
gonna
They'd
get that.
always pull this footage up. I'd get an audition. I'd go in there and do really well, and then I'd get the movie, and then I'd hear that I'm being cut out of the film because I was talking about Barbie being rammed up people's vaginas.
Yeah. Well,
and you call
if
it
not-
down
I'm
to
sorry.
self-harming Barbie.
If not me, who else could play Stung by a Bee? Ken.
Oh, true that. Well, Kanye West could, right? And that would cover a few things. I'd also like one that are just ones that are defects off the line that are just like, oh no, that one's, we ran out of plastic to mold that arm. Flumidomide Barbie.
Can I tell you another?
All right,
can I-
that one didn't go as well.
No, you just cut out, and then I heard Flumidomide, and I was like, oh, I just got sad for a minute. Tell me if this part of the joke is not good.
Okay.
Now that I've got the woke police over here, hey,
right.
these two guys.
What, me?
Slamming-
What, me?
Old Jack over there slamming the brakes on the banter bus over
Who are
here.
you looking off to at the side on the banter bus?
Okay, this is a bad one. So if there's, I think this is funny, but you guys might not.
All right.
So if there's Down syndrome Barbie
Yes.
and like cerebral palsy Barbie, etc.
Don't be mean to Down syndrome cerebral palsy, man. After I did legit, man, I'm pretty good like
No,
this.
I'm just
This is
these are-
the most woke I get. And also watch my new special, two limb special coming out. Two limb policy.
now this is where I think that I'm making a valid point.
Okay.
There's all this
Is it Valiant though?
there's all these different conditions with Barbie, but you never hear of Ken having any of these conditions. So that means we live in a universe where regular Ken is she's fucking Barbie who has Down syndrome, and that's not okay with me.
He doesn't need to have an erection. He hasn't got a dick. He just has to work his tongue like a magician, old Ken.
Ken has
That's
found
why
a 28-year-old chick with a car
That's
who
why
has
he wears-
Down syndrome
that's
and a
why he-
mansion.
That's why he wears the ascot to get back down
And
there, Ken.
Ken's
Get back
friends
down
are
there.
like, "Are you fucking that chick with Down syndrome? That's not cool, man." He's like, "You got to see her house."
I don't know what it's pink. Yeah. I don't know what the legalities of that is, but yeah, no, I that joke's okay. I'm all right with that one
There you go.
because everyone's getting sex and it's Ken who's been put out by the whole situation, who's in legal problem there, not you.
Okay, we're doing a lot of segues today. Here's a legal problem for you.
There's a lot of segues today. Life's a segue, mate.
We're all
one
trying a
conversation
segue.
to the next. You're just stopping and starting constully. Trying
It's
to make
very
a
hard for two
conversation
guys.
flow.
Two guys like you and I who are on the different levels of the spectrum. The segues get harder and harder.
I'm on the extreme left of the spectrum.
My legal problems
Yeah.
begin today.
Uh-huh.
I can announce to everybody
Yeah.
that today is my last day in America.
Dum da dum
Dum,
dum
dum,
dum
dum,
dum. Amos is gone. He's wearing a Tottenham shirt.
That's why I'm appealing back to my British fan base.
Yeah. You're trying to get back into the UK. Okay, why are you being kicked out?
No, so my visa's come to an end, and obviously I support the law. So I'm leaving to Montreal for the Just for Laughs festival, and because I'm leaving
after what you said to the French, I don't think you'll be allowed in there.
Yeah, that is the man that says that our Brigitte has a penis.
Yeah. Even in Montreal, they're upset.
That's how Brigitte, you are despicable conspiracy theorist.
No Putin for you.
The issue for me is my visa has been processed at the moment, and if your visa has been processed, you may stay in the country. Once you leave the country, unfortunately, you have to wait until it's completely done. And I thought
I was in the same boat for years. I did this a couple of times, yes.
And so I thought I'd be back after Montreal to go with my girlfriend's family to South Carolina. We were going to go over there for a family vacation, and that's gone. And then I went, well, that's okay. It's just a family vacation. And then I have other gigs coming up that might be gone. And the system is taking a very long time, as it always bloody does. But not that I'm against that. And anyone who's...
Why do you think the system slowed down, Amos? I can't crack the code. Why do you think there might be a backlog in visa applications?
There could be some people who are reviewing what we say on this podcast right now to determine whether or not I'm welcome back. And unfortunately for me, I got all anti-Trump at the wrong time.
Yeah, do you reckon there's one person listening to it right now just like going, but my daughter's a Down syndrome Barbie?
You know what Annika said to me the other day, Jim? She goes, for like a year and a half, you were like a defender of things about Donald Trump. Like you loved getting in there with your left-wing friends and agitating them about why they were wrong about Trump.
It would have made the podcast.
Now, and she goes,
we'd have listeners if that was the case.
She goes, now you have decided to turn on the administration right at the time they have your paperwork. Like what?
Yeah.
What was that about?
No, you're my barometer on whether people, like whether Trump has lost people or not. I believe he's lost a lot of people of late. I believe it's not going well for him at the moment.
I'm more of that sort of Tucker Carlson wing.
You still like Tucker Carlson. Whatever Tucker's into, you're into. I'm amazed that you don't wear bow ties on the regular.
Yeah, he had to get rid of the bow tie. Bow tie was a tough branding point.
The bow tie has never looked good on any man ever. When we were doing the snake, and we're about to speak to Pastor Jacob from the snake, when we were doing the snake, there was on that last one, I was in a tuxedo and they put me on bow ties. And you know how like with men's fashion, all that the companies do to keep selling suits is this: ties bigger, ties smaller, ties thinner, ties wider, ties fluffier, ties covered in satin. They just change the shape. Lapels small, lapels thin. Double-breasted, single button, 2 buttons, right? They just change everything just a little tiny itty-bitty bit so that you're out of fashion and you're in fashion and all sorts of stuff. We tried on, before we did that thing, maybe 10 or 12 bow ties. And the people at Fox had a big discussion on whether this bow tie is good or that bow tie is good. And they looked at it. And in the end, I said, hey, guys, can I just wear a regular black tie and see what you think? And I put it on and they were like, that's it. Because I look like a buffoon in a bow tie. Is there any?
Why did they try?
Name me a person who looks like maybe
like
James Bond.
wacky professor types can get away with it.
Name me someone who looks more handsome in one. We have to get rid of bow ties.
Daniel Craig, Winston Churchill.
He would still look more handsome. You could smear shit on Winston Churchill to make him look more handsome. You've been literally one of the ugliest cunts in history and gone, he looked more handsome. Like that guy, that fucking Mr. Toad. And you're going, he looked more handsome in a bow tie. Name me a person who, like a movie.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
No one looks better in a bow tie. They should get rid of bow ties.
Frank Sinatra.
I still think he would have looked better in an
Sean
actual
Connery.
tie. Because an actual tie joins your tuxedo and meets where the V goes down and there's a bit of continuity to the outfit. The tie just sort of sets off into a different angle where everything else is pointing into one direction, like sort of subliminally pointing towards your dick because you look handsome, like everyone like that, right? Where the bow tie just keeps your vision up here and you go, what the fuck's that? Also, with the bow tie, no one has ever kept them on for more than 3 hours. They've always had to move them around.
I like them when they're untied. I'm a fan of that. If I was living my best life without the male gaze of my friends calling me
Yeah,
gay,
I know you don't like the male gaze. Oh, the male gaze.
No, if all males were gays, I would wear this.
Yeah, okay. Without the male gaze, I would be.
Without coming from I'm a big fan of the silk scarf cravat.
I don't mind a silk.
I
have a scarf collection. I like a scarf, but it still dangles down. I'll tell you something that was from the 80s, and I know they had it early on than that, and I hope it never comes back. The cover bun. No one looks good in a cover bun.
Yeah. The cummerbund, yeah.
I thought it was because they cover.
It should be. It's cumber.
Why is it called cummerbund? I've been calling him a cummerbund.
I don't know. Why cummerbund? Why?
Do you remember when
it's going to be racist in some way?
You're too young for this, but when I was young and we went to our school formals in year 10 and year 12, the big thing you could do is you wear a tuxedo shirt with little wingtip collars, right? A tie, and you wore your suit, maybe a few ruffles down here. You wore your jacket. That was the thing. But when you took the jacket off, the sleeves were like Mickey Mouse or something. Like they were a bit more colorful, and they really showed your personality off. Those, yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, you think I look handsome? Now I look fun. There, I'm ready to go. And so you could have the cummerbund that was also Disney themed or something like that. Disney made a lot of those things back in the day.
I personally, if I could dress my own way, and I'm about to do something very good here. What I would do, Jim, is I like Ralph Lauren, and I like walking
if you could dress your own way. Yes, I like Ralph Lauren as well.
I like walking to the Ralph Lauren store, and when you see the mannequin, and there's all these different layers with like a blazer and a sweater and this weird colored tie that I'd never purchase any of them as an individual, but as a collective, I'd go, I want that whole outfit. But I don't have the money for Ralph Lauren, but I do like that look, which brings us to our sponsor, Quince.
Yeah, you can't do it. We got to wedge it later on.
Oh, really? Also, maybe they're not going to be happy for me to be like, that beautiful brand.
Yeah, and you can't mention Ralph Lauren and then go, we got stuff that's a bit. You have to cut that out, you idiot. It's going to have to end on me talking about Mickey Mouse cover buns.
I thought they would like that because it is like Ralph Lauren style, but with Kmart prices.
All right, come on. Anyway.
No, I wasn't. No, I've got to finish my thing. Let me get back. All right, Mickey Mouse thing. I want to say my visa.
I will tell you someone who wears a bow tie is Mayor John from The Snake. He wears a bow tie. And I think I owe him a bit of money because I made a bet with him off stage that I must reach out to that man and pay him because I think he's won the bet. But anyway.
So I'm in this situation after Montreal. I can't get back into America. So all my life is here. All my apartment packed up. I have nothing. And so I have one suitcase that I thought I was going away for a couple of weeks. And I've decided now, well, I'm not going to just stay around and do nothing. So I'm going to Edinburgh now for the month. And then I'm going on Europe tour with you. So I'm not coming home. My girlfriend is now devastated because I'm going to be gone for 3 months or whatever like that. But there is, I just bought Oasis.
That's going to go through her.
I just bought some Oasis tickets. So she was like, oh, it's so sad that we don't get to spend this summer with each other. And then she goes, what are you doing over there? And I went, I just bought tickets to Oasis in Edinburgh. And she's like, you're fucking thrilled with this, aren't you? And it is because I've got to
go over and see you for a bit.
She can't leave the country because she's still going to do some work. But I'm going to be out for.
I've never
last
met
year?
A woman who does such a thing. What are you talking about?
Remember last year, 3 years ago when I got my visa, I got it in Bucharest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do like these little visa sojourns, but I've been filling out the paperwork today. And here's one thing that really gives me the shits with any country's document process. I have to fill out the last 5 years of flights to and from America that I've taken over 5 years. Now, when you're an international resident and you're going as a touring comedian,
you'd be called an international man of no mystery.
As an international man of no mystery, as you'd say, I have to record all my fucking flights. And all I can think is, what is the point of facial recognition technology at the airport if I have to have this dumb book and then hand write out all my flights to and from? And to make matters worse, they go, here's a form I-94 which shows every time you've entered. And you go, well, just have that.
Well, when I was
becoming citizen,
Jack, do you remember this? They made me fill in 10 years. 10 years of in and outs of the country. I literally leave the country at least 5 times a year.
If not more.
Yeah, if not, that's my minimum. Yeah. But then when I leave, you have to list all the countries. Then when I leave the country, I'm never just going to one country. I'm going to like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And there was, on my ones, there was like, and why were you in Iraq and Afghanistan? I was like, entertaining your troops. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you go, that's a question for Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
We're still trying to get to the bottom of that.
To get the oil, baby.
Yeah, because Barbara Bush has a cock. That's why.
Now, I tell you what, out of all the presidential wives that might have had a cock, Barbara Bush is right up there. When Barbara Bush died and they started showing pictures of Barbara Bush when she was younger, there was very little difference between old Barbara Bush and young
Well,
Barbara
hold on. What
Bush.
was George W.'s wife's name?
What's, I can picture her in her head. She's the one who hit the people with the car. Nancy Bush?
Laura Bush.
Laura Bush.
That's who I was looking for. I went for the other Bush. There you go. But to my
you went
point,
for the other Bush, much like the French Prime Minister's wife.
The mysteries in the bush.
Yeah.
It's your job to work it out. But what I was going to say to you is, if we have to live in this draconian world of constant surveillance, the least they could do is have us fill out no more forms.
Oh, I'll
That's
tell you,
the compact with the government.
no
No privacy.
The Inuit Dome for the Clippers knows more about you than the fucking passport system does, I tell you.
Yeah, and is that
also-
working now?
Also, yeah, well, I don't know. Sometimes you go in there and you get a jersey and you don't pay for it, and then sometimes you do. But I'm glad I got a Norman Powell jersey out of there for my son, and he's just been traded. So I think fair is fair.
But yeah, I'm feeling very vulnerable at the moment, as any person who has a visa is because you just go, oh God,
Mate,
what if
I lived about 8 or 9 years in Britain getting 3-month visas at a time, and it was always hanging over me, this dark cloud of will they, won't they, will they, won't they. And America right now, how politically things are and how backlogged they would be with all the other people being detained and all type of stuff. Look, I just hope that on Alligator Island there's good internet so we can continue the podcast.
Because the truth is, and don't think I haven't reflected
You'd be
on this.
sitting there in a cage like this going, yeah, but he doesn't start wars.
If I'm put into Alligator Alcatraz and kicked out of the country,
Yeah,
I have had multiple nights thinking about this. There's not one person in our world, any of our mutual friends, who goes, poor Amos, because they'll go, oh, is this the guy that liked old Donny Don?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no. If you were on Alligator Alcatraz, our friend group would love it. Like, because you're not going to die there or anything like that. We'd just be like, oh, good work. At least you got gills. You'd be done. Yeah.
I'm sitting in the Alligator Alcatraz going, yeah, but those emails from Hillary, mate, they weren't right.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't want to go out in that water. You'll probably find Hillary's hard drive. Am I right?
The real reason Donald put me here is to protect me, because there's going to be an uprising and he loves me and he loves my comedy and he's keeping me safe in Alligator Alcatraz because Antifa's tracking me down and he knows I'm a valuable asset and he's going to make me the vice president. You guys are like, fucking hell, he's gone. Gilly's lost his mind. Don't deport me. I love America. What the fuck? I can't believe it.
They're not going to deport you. You're going to be back in before you know it. And, and I'm going to be happy for you. It's going to be 2027. And it's going to be a fresh start.
Speaking of rules with coming in and out of the country, I thought we could finish with a little light point that I love. The TSA, as a person who travels permanently, has finally dropped this law that I despise, which you haven't had to worry about because you get pre-check here in America.
But I still get angry about it. It means that I can't fly in cowboy boots and I'm desperate to do it. You don't have to take your shoes off anymore, which is they haven't found a bomb since that shoe bomber guy. And then we all had to take the shoes off. And I used to hate it when a TSA person looked at it. And sometimes they let some shoes through and they go, oh, maybe not this one. Like,
do you know anything
how
about
long did it take? The only airport security that is longer than America is Canada. And that's just because the Canadians are all bumbling into each other. And
you have to show your airline ticket 5 times.
So many times in Canada. So many times. You have to show your airline ticket and your passport after you put all your stuff onto the conveyor belt going through the machine. Then they ask to check it again. Then they check it. They check it so many fucking times. They are overly cautious in Canada. It's kind of silly, right? Canadian domestic airport is far worse than American. You have to show up at the airport 15 minutes earlier than you do in America just to get through the lines. That's like no bullshit. And there's no one complaining. If they did in America, people would lose their mind. But the shoe thing is going to change my life. I love the taking the shoes. And also, I'm about to run my TSA pre-check's about to run out because I don't have one of these real IDs. I thought my other ID was a real one. It looked real. It felt real. It got scanned underneath the thing, but it didn't have facial recognizing something on it. So now they've just called it a real ID. And so I have to carry my passport domestically, which is a fucking pain in the neck as well.
Well, why don't you go and get your real? I've got a real ID, and I'm not even allowed to be in the country anymore.
Because it's the time. I got to go down to the DMV and blah blah.
So the TSA, I didn't know anything about this shoe bomber thing. So for anyone who doesn't know, it says the TSA initially implemented the shoes off policy in 2006 in response to the shoe bomber incident involving Richard Reid, who attempted to detonate explosives hidden in his shoes on a flight from Paris to Miami in December of 2001. So they did it 5 years later. This policy was part of a broader effort after 9/11, yada, yada, yada. He's a British...
The Patriot Act, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
they just started bringing in shit after 9/11.
Who the fuck is Richard Reid? Do you know anything about him?
I don't know, but he was the shoe bomber.
Look him up.
Yeah,
he looks like Jason Gillespie. He looks like Jason Gillespie, the Australian fast bowler. Have a look at this.
He's a shady looking little fuck. I know what he looks like.
What the fuck was he doing?
He was trying to blow. What do you need a reason for? We got a guy in India who's fucking.
Oh, okay. He's a white Muslim. He's one of those guys that's when they convert, you're way more intense.
I reckon non-Arab Muslims, they always confuse me. I reckon within the Muslim community, they're like, who's this bloke? I just slap a bomb on him if he's that keen. If he's that keen, just slap a bomb on him.
There's nothing like being a redhead at Mecca.
Yeah, or anywhere.
It's not really for them.
Like there's got to be another planet for those people, surely.
Do you know any white Muslims yet?
Maybe they're meant to be on the red planet of Mars because it's the right temperature for their skin.
Remember that chick from Australia? What was her name? She got done in Bali for having ecstasy, and then when she was in prison, she put on the headdress and the shari or whatever it was called, and she was like Michelle Leslie. That was her name, and she said that she was a Muslim on Indonesian television, and she'd read the Quran while she was being held in jail, and then she got a really light sentence, and the moment she walked through the door of the Australian airport, she just took her headdress off. She gave up on that immediately.
Praise all the drugs.
She went I can't believe that Aussies are still. But we have a weird relationship with Bali, hey? They just keep executing us and we still go there and take pingers.
I've never taken a pinger there, and I've taken pingers in many places, but I've never there. I don't fuck around with countries' borders, man, for shit like that.
No, that's the weirdest one.
Which brings us to the snake and Pastor Jacob. He'll know what to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the inclusive pastor, Jacob. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me.
How's life been since the snake? Has anything changed, or is it just the same old, same old?
It's back to work. It's back to family time. So mostly the same, but it's been fun to have a little bit of a platform just to connect with people around the world who are watching the show.
Sure. And I hear that we spoke to Alyssa on the last episode that you guys have all stayed in touch.
It's true.
Since it's happened, you've all become friends. So for a show that was about befriending and cheating and lying and being nasty to each other, it seems to have brought you all together in a little clique, huh?
There is a lot of contact still between everyone. I think that as people are seeing what is said about them behind the scenes, there's a little bit of tension, a little bit of banter, but friendly for the most part.
Now, in the last episode, you called out Catherine. You called out Catherine. And I from where I'm seated, it looks like you were in the right. You actually called her out, and you were told that God, it helps that you burn.
Oh, what an iconic line! No one believed me.
Yeah,
we'll see if they catch up. But
is that why you quit the show? Like did you quit? Did you jump before you were pushed? Or did you think you had a chance against you and Derek in the snake pit there?
Because in that moment, the reason I backed out was pretty much because of Derek. Him and I had been working closely. I felt bad that he had hitched his wagon to me and everything was going up in flames because of some of the conversation I had started, and I had kind of blundered my opportunity as the snake to push out some of our competitors. And so I didn't want him to go home. And so in that moment, I thought if anyone was going to change the trajectory of the house, it was going to be Derek. He had the strategic thinking and just the emotional capacity to go back into the house and keep fighting. And I really wanted things to change in the house. Things had been so against me that if anybody was going to make a difference, I thought it was Derek. So that's kind of why I backed out. I still had some fight in me if anyone else was sitting there next to me, but I didn't want to take that chance from Derek.
Do you hold any ill will towards Catherine? It is a game after all, but
I don't. Absolutely not. I am impressed that she came into play. So I have to give her props that she had her whole list of manipulation strategies. She was ready to put them to use. She fooled me right along with everybody else at the beginning. It took me some time to realize that everything wasn't adding up. There's a lot that she was saying to me that's not even in the show about other players that I just thought, this is contradicting each other at this point. So she can't be telling the truth about everything.
So you were saying that when people see what was actually said about them in hindsight, so has Catherine apologized to you, or has she just gone, that's the way it goes?
You know, privately, she did reach out to share some really kind words.
I think you can genuinely see that she did like you, that you two did really get along very well. But she knew she was cooked, so she had to cause a disruption in the house. Send Devontae and Jack up there. They came marching up to come and yell at you in the room. Now, from my point of view, people would think that I know what's going on in the show, but you know and I know that I'm only there for the task, and I'm there for the saving ceremony, and everything in between, I know nothing. So I'm watching the show the same as the rest of the audience. I'm at home going, oh, that's why that, because I remember being in the saving ceremony and Catherine looking at you going, you've questioned my integrity, and how dare you? And I was like, what the fuck's gone down here? Why are they all not getting along? And now I look back at it and I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why. So
the whole show, it was a whole production that she had created. And to see her send the guys in to storm in after me, and then it juxtaposed with her saying, I've got to create a scapegoat to get the blame off of me. That's brilliant. She did it. It worked. I was sacrificed.
Would you do it again?
It took some time after the show to kind of get my emotional and mental bearings. I think that I would definitely go in. I'd still want to be myself and be who I am as a pastor, but I think I could bring a little bit more strategic play than I did into it. So yeah, I do it again. I
personally think, and people never, when they look at themselves on camera, but I personally think that you've come out of it quite well. I think that out of all the contestants, you've come out as a good dude, a nice guy who like, there's things that you did when you spoke to Alyssa and said on the first day, Kaylee was saying some things about your occupation, and I said, and then they had the footage to back you up.
We're there, yeah.
Thank God. As you would say.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt in that moment, just because I was there as a pastor, that there was kind of just the weight of, there's so much hypocrisy and judgmentalism in American Christianity, and I wanted to portray what I do in a positive light in some way amidst this competition. So I'm grateful that I had a chance to be myself and try to come out of it with some integrity. And like you said, it's a game. People can play it however they want. And so I did feel a little bit of weight with just my church watching and other churches watching and a lot of kids in my church watching. So I needed them to have some sort of role model that outside of the game in real life,
I saw you had a big screening for the first episode with your whole church. I saw that online. It looked like there was a couple hundred people came out to watch you.
It was pretty amazing. I've had a lot of support from my church. They're just having fun with it. They know it's a reality TV show. They know there's drama, and they're just living it up.
And Jacob, my friend, who is front and center of the billboard. I'll tell you who's not me. Right?
What's going on with that? Yeah. You're supposed to be the face selling the show.
No, I'm all right. But it's you on Times Square standing right in the middle, the snake. I guess, the Garden of Eden and all that type of stuff. See, I think you got on because you're a pastor. I think I got on the show because my accent's very good with the word the snake.
It is, yeah.
What did you find the most challenging bit of the show?
I think being with people 24/7 is that psychological component of needing to be on. It's hard to escape the environment. You're not sleeping a lot. You're just with these people, talking with them. And even if you aren't best friends with these people, you just kind of have to be there with them the entire time. And in the midst of being with these folks, you're also completely disconnected from your family and your support structure.
So people might not know that. You've got no phones, right?
Nothing,
There's no way to contact anybody. Also, this might sound, there's no telly, there's no TV. So all you got to do is talk to each other the whole time. Was that a good experience? Was it freeing, or did you find you missed your phone, you missed the TV, or was it nice to disconnect?
It was nice to disconnect. I was hoping that one benefit of this experience was I'd kind of break my phone addiction, because I have a really bad one.
We all do.
But I've been right back to it.
Of course.
So it was nice to get a few weeks away from the phone at least.
Well, now you have an addiction where people are talking about you online. That adds a whole... Do you read the comments?
I do read the comments, and I love it. I love the negative ones as much as the positive ones. It's just fun to see what people say, and you obviously can't make everybody happy, and so there's people who are really positive about the way I play the game, and then the more strategic game player folks think I was a complete idiot and blundered a few things, which I totally get, and so it's fun just to read the good and the bad.
You got your time over. What would you do different?
I think I would go in there and be a little bit more direct with folks. I think I would have had a better game plan as the double-headed snake with Mac. I was trying to make some concessions to her, but I would have tried to take control a little bit, been more strategic, been more direct with folks, still been honest with everybody, but at least try to get farther in the competition.
And how good was it coming home and seeing your little girl, man, after all that?
Oh, man, yeah. As I was leaving that night, I said, I love being a pastor, but I love being a dad more.
Yeah.
And so getting home and seeing, she's 3, just turned 3, seeing her.
I'm the same. I got a 3-year-old. I got home, and that was the best bit of the whole thing was getting home, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that we were in Argentina for the filming of the show. What will be your takeaway memory?
Great question. I love the challenge part. And so for me, working with Mac on that cockroach challenge and being able to win that together, that's definitely memory of a lifetime. And just meeting these folks who I never would have connected with any other way, any other place, to know that we kind of have this bond over a circumstance that you never expect you will have in your life. You do it together, and it's really bonding in that way. We don't hang out or anything, but you're my first pastor friend. I love it.
I like to think anyway.
All right, awesome.
Now, with I want a quote. I want a direct quote here, right?
Okay.
Who spat the eggs in the bucket, bro? Who spat the eggs in the bucket?
All right. Somebody spit eggs into that damn bucket, and no one has confessed to me. I've tried to send some teasers out there to get someone to confess, and my questions are being ignored by the people who could be guilty here.
Who's on the chopping board there? So Jack, of course.
It's either Jack or Devontae. They're the ones right in between me. You watch the video and you can see both of them turn around and start gagging. So one of them. Before I die, I need one of them to confess to me.
I'd put my money on Devontae for some reason, because Devontae seemed to be going, this is all bullshit, man. What like that, right? Which is weird, because he didn't win the whole thing. So what's the point of him even laughing about it? And also, the only reason I say Devontae, and I might be completely wrong. The only reason I say Devontae is because Jack powered through the eggs the second time.
Oh, he nailed it that second time. So I can't be mad because he destroyed them in that second round, fair and square.
What did they taste like?
They were just rancid. It was something gross. You can think of what would something moldy and rancid and disgusting taste like. And I have some folks in my congregation from Asia who are giving me trouble because they say they eat them all the time. It's not a big deal. They were upset with me that I eat them.
Well, that's the whole thing. Your 2 challenges were they call century eggs, right? Because of how long they've been there. And the other one was just fucking kimchi, bro. That was nothing.
Kimchi, that was easy. I got out lucky with that one.
Yeah, because you're a vegan, correct?
I am.
You're vegan, so they gave you kimchi, but then you still had to eat the rotten eggs, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you're not killing an animal or doing anything there, because if they're 100-year-old egg or whatever they are, I know they're not 100, they call century eggs, right?
Right.
So they're already made anyway. You're not hurting anything there. They're already going to waste anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right. Final question. Did you hate when I showed up? Everyone seems to hate when I showed up. It was always such a miserable experience to me. I'd walk up and every time I walked up, it was like, here, eat some goop, or go swim through fish guts, or go claw your nails onto a chalkboard type of thing, right? So did you hate when I showed up? Everyone seemed to not like me.
It was I needed you because I was in such a bad position in the game. You showing up was a curveball, and so something was going to change when you came. So for my life in the competition, I needed you to show up and shake things up and give a new challenge or bring someone new in, because I was trying to hold on to whatever life preserver I could get.
All right. Well, thank you. That was not, because I spoke to Alyssa last week, and she never seemed to enjoy me showing up. she was. We had Cowboy Cody wouldn't even do the podcast with me. He was still angry with me I don't know what I did to him, but he was still angry for it. If you could change one thing about your gameplay, what would it be? Let me put it this way. So there was the time that you were the two-headed snake, right? You tried to make the double alliance, right? And then you said, all right, if we bring over Jack, we'll get rid of Brett, all that type of stuff. Would you call that your biggest mistake? What was your biggest mistake? What was your gameplay mistake?
I think strategically, definitely trying to make an alliance with Jack and Devontae, naively not knowing that they considered me their enemy, was definitely a mistake. In the end, speaking up about the bucket, even though there was definitely something in that bucket, didn't put me in well with the house. And so I saw a comment online that made me laugh that said, every episode, the pastor is unintentionally chaotic.
Yeah.
I somehow found myself in the middle of the chaos every single episode without even trying to create the chaos.
Well, my wife's a big fan of yours. You were one of her favorites on the show. But my mother-in-law didn't trust you because of the bucket incident. So you lost her. So you lost it.
I lost some people with that. Yeah.
And she goes, no, I don't trust him. There was nothing in that bucket. That young boy Jack didn't do anything wrong. You know where I think you went wrong? Unlike all the other men in the room, you weren't shirtless enough. Everybody else was shirtless all the time. You should have worn your priest jacket, but had your button down here. Yeah. Like Frankie or Brett.
Or just tape the collar on. If I could have just put the collar on the neck and
just be shirtless, wear the collar like a priest Chippendale.
Like a Chippendale, exactly. I needed to be the priest Chippendale.
Well, you live and learn, Jacob. You live and learn. I love having you on the podcast, mate. Yeah. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, everyone. That was Pastor Jacob. Thank you for listening. Tell your friends, man. We're trying to grow this podcast, but the people who do listen to the podcast, come and catch us in Europe. We're going to be out there real soon. Anything you want to say?
If you're in Montreal, come and see me in Montreal. If you're in Edinburgh, I'm going to add some shows.
See him in Edinburgh.
Come hang out.
He may not have any shows in America ever again, so you can say you saw him when.
You know what? I've had a great time in America, and if they kick me out, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Good night, America.